You were playing through a story bit by bit. With the new game, I feel like I lost 2/3 of the story. I pray and hope, for the sake of the franchise, that it will make more sense after I've seen the movie. Fuck. Hello humans and welcome back to SpaceCat with the second part of my Ratchet and Clank story review. First things first, if you haven't seen the movie or played the game, then stop this video now. If you want a spoiler-free review of the game or want to know about the issues that I had with the story, then go check out part 1 of this review. I will not hold back with any spoilers from this point on. So, yeah, you have been warned. So, I've seen the movie twice so far, and how did I find it? Well, not bad. I'd be lying if I'd say I didn't enjoy myself. I mean, me going to the cinema twice must mean something, right? Right? It was a pretty good movie for... Whoa! What the hell happened here? Critics are taking this movie apart. I mean, holy shit! 33%? How bad is that? I mean, it's not nearly on a Batman and Robin level, but it's still pretty bad. Mediocre at best.
Tell us what you have. Hang on.
If you play the game before the movie, you do spoil some plot twists, even if they're very predictable. Although it wasn't too much of an issue for me personally. I still enjoyed it regardless, seeing how the events tie in together with the game. Sorta. I've played all the previous games and played the game based on the movie, based on the game, so I went into the cinema with a little bit of background knowledge. I enjoyed the PS4 game a lot, like I already said in my previous review. The game and the movie have subtle differences and vary from each other from time to time. Most noticeable at the beginning and the end bit due to narrative reasons. I will try my best to highlight those differences and compare them to one another. So I will start off by reviewing the entire story as best as I remember it. If you want to skip straight to the bit where I talk about the issues in detail, then click the muffin here. I will talk about certain things that I found were worth pointing out and mentioning. You know, things that could have been better and why. Or wrong, Kevin! Things that have been done completely wrong! The movie starts off with an alien race called the Blog using a massive space station, which they call the deplanetizer. They use it to, blow up a planet. Why? Well, haven't you played the most recent game or the first Ratchet and Clank back in 2002? Well, tough shit then. Moving on. The game has a slightly different and more interesting approach in setting the tone for the story. It starts with this guy here being escorted to a maximum security prison cell. We don't know anything about him, but from the very few lines we get, we can only assume that he's done something really bad, and he's clearly not regretting any of it.
You think you can break me, copper? Yeah, I've been in the darkest pits of the universe.
As the door to his cell opens, to his surprise, he finds Captain Copernicus Quark. That's right, Quark himself sits in a maximum security prison. The galactic hero, who always seems to have gotten away with being stupid and somehow getting the spotlight for Ratchet's deed, sits in a maximum security prison. Wow, okay, that's an interesting choice. Quark basically narrates the game from here on.
It all started with a hapless lombax named Ratchet.
Okay, back to the movie. Ratchet gets quickly introduced to us, making it clear that he's a small creature with big dreams who wants to do something meaningful. It gets mentioned like twice in the movie, so it's got to be important, you know? Due to the disappearing planet crisis, I guess? Whoever's in charge of that, I guess, decides to add a 5th member to the Galactic Ranger team, a special force of superheroes who keep peace and order in the Solana galaxy. They happen to show up on planet Veldin first in exactly the same place Ratchet happens to live in. What a coincidence. Ratchet, being a huge fan of the Galactic Rangers, doesn't lose any time in applying for that position. But first, here is a funny and nicely animated scene which introduces the character a little further. An old thing enters the garage Ratchet lives and works in, asking for his spaceship. Ratchet literally pimps the old guy's spaceship with things he never asked for. One of the things being a super magnet that can pull things... why? I mean, why not? Wouldn't you want a super magnet built into your vehicle?
High-intensity mag booster, so powerful, it can pick up a paperclip from 2 kilocubits away.
I mean, I definitely would. Things go wrong as the spaceship takes off, pulling a lot of metal crap with him. Ratchet manages to stop the ship just in time before they hit a wall. Ah, yes, Ratchet. A misfit who's a dreamer. A perfect setup everyone can relate to.
I just feel like I'm supposed to do more. I've always dreamt of being a Galactic Ranger, doing big things like Captain Quark.
Standard protagonist stuff. Great for the movie, and it kinda works for what it tries to do. Let's just keep it at that for now. Grim, the actual owner of the garage, isn't too impressed with Ratchet's work lately. As for who Grim actually is and in what way he's related to Ratchet isn't exactly explained. Due to the hints the game gives you and 1 or 2 lines, it is safe to assume that Grim adopted Ratchet when he was still an infant. I wish the movie would have put a little bit more effort into building their relationship and getting more into it. I know that it seems out of focus, but as a fan of the series, it would have been really interesting. Ratchet tries to join the Galactic Rangers since they're looking for a new member pretty much in front of their doorstep. The Rangers, consisting of Captain Quark, Cora, and... hold on, let me look up the rest. Brax and Alaris. These characters just exist to have members in the story. That's pretty much it. Their names get mentioned once or twice.
Willful disruption of the space-time continuum?
That is a funny story.
No. No, it's not. It's actually not that funny. Although I did like the reference. Despite Ratchet being clearly qualified to be a ranger, he gets rejected because Quark doesn't like him. After Ratchet feels sad, TM, a spaceship crashes nearby. Inside sitting, Clank, who is a defect and fled from planet Quatu, to warn everyone about Drax's warbots. What's that? Oh, are you confused yet? Well, tough shit, we're only 10 minutes into the movie.
Set coordinates for the Galactic Ranger home base.
Destination set. We will never make it, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Clank's character was really fleshed out compared to the first story, and I liked the reasonings behind his motives. Anywho, the two become the duo/best friends, TM, from this point on. Ratchet then lies to him saying that he can take him to the Rangers since they're his friends.
Why do you think I have so many pictures of them?
But why are you not in any of them?
Well, someone had to take the picture, right?
Ooh, future conflict material, everyone. After going to Alero City, they discover that the city is already under attack by Drax robots with their mission to destroy the Rangers. Oh yeah, and then there is that.
We should have contacted the Rangers to warn them of the attack.
Yeah, like they'd know who we are.
But you said they were your friends.
What? I think you're quoting me out of context. The Rangers are actually my, friends. Do you record everything I say? Do you record everything I say?
Okay, enough conflict between the main characters, no further development needed, they're best buddies now. Done. After saving everyone from the invasion, including the Rangers, Quark gets talked into Ratchet joining the Rangers.
Does this mean you'll be asking these two heroes to join the Rangers?
Well, I don't see why not.
And then there is this scene where the enemies get mad since their plan to destroy the Rangers didn't work. They analyze the events and they're now plotting to use Quark for their evil deeds. Ratchet is now a Ranger. There is a 40-second scene where Alaris gets introduced. She's the nerd, everyone. She likes computers and video games. Look at the nerd, TM. Moving on, Ratchet gets introduced to a handful of weapons. Remember this thing? Yeah, you do. You played it in the game. Clank and Nerd Woman discover that specific chunks of the planets are missing that have been blown up. They decide to tell this crucial piece of information to Captain Quark. But look, Captain Quark doesn't listen to them. It's funny, because, they have nice distracting visuals and, you're a nerd that no one likes to listen to. It's so very funny and totally not gonna be an issue later on. Quark, with his massive ego, explains his plans about Drax's Warbot factory, which sounds more like a lunatic suicide mission than anything else. But it's okay, because Nerd Person and Clank are still trying to get through Quark, but obviously he's too busy being a self-centered, egoistic moron. After having discussed said plan, the Rangers prepare their attack on planet Quatu. It goes without saying that Drax was expecting this. The Warbot factory is pretty much deserted, or at least it appears to be as they break in. The Rangers infiltrate the enemy stronghold that could be filled with millions of enemies for all they know. So the most logical conclusion is to split up because the movie needs an excuse to have Quark walk in alone.
Don't move. I'm listening.
He gets talked into signing a contract with Drax because it is being made obvious to him that Ratchet has been getting all the attention since the events in Alero City. Drax promises Quark his fans and spotlight back or some shit. Jealous much? Plot twist! He's the bad guy now, while the other Rangers get attacked by a group of Zircons.
This Zircon is looking to kill you!
That's actually funny. Meanwhile, Ratchet and Combat Ranger Woman number 1 discover Drax's plan about the deplanetizer. They follow Drax, but he manages to escape before the Rangers get there in time to arrest him, leaving the weird robot assistant behind accidentally. The Rangers try to make him talk, and he reveals that Drax's next target would be Novalis, a planet that is highly populated. With the information at hand, the Rangers begin a second strike back to get Drax, this time for good, while Novalis is being evacuated. Quark messes about with the Rangers' spaceship, giving him the opportunity to set the Rangers' spaceship defense shield offline once he's inside Drax's ship. So far, so good. As they approach the enemy full frontal, one of the Ranger goes, quick question, what are we doing now? Which Quark replies with,
Here's what we're going to do, Rangers. I'll go in first and try to reason with this Drax character.
Which the rest of the Rangers reply with, what the fuck? Quark, the noble hero he is, goes in first to, reasons. Spoilers, that's all part of the plan since Quark is now one of the bad guys. The plan works for Drax as the shields suddenly go offline, forcing the Rangers to retreat. Ratchet decides against all orders and protocol to turn back and straight into the enemy's spaceship because he would refuse to leave Quark behind.
Oh, those silly noble lumbaxes.
Victor crashes the Rangers' mothership in the meantime to follow and destroy Clank.
What was that?
While Ratchet tries to get to the core of the deplanetizer to deactivate it. You know, am I the only one who feels like I'm just explaining the most important key events in a very rushed manner? Well, I'm not. The movie is that rushed. Are you starting to see the issue that I have with this movie? Sony's fuck. I feel like I'm trying to explain the whole story of Kingdom Hearts to my mom in 10 minutes. Anyway, Clank manages to destroy Victor by using water. Worth mentioning are the slight differences from the game and the movie. Clank manages to restore power, which triggers the water sprinklers, which causes Victor to just have a shortage, due to him not being water resistant. In the movie, Clank uses some sort of gun that makes a storm cloud appear over Victor, making it rain on him, causing him to just rust completely up and just kind of fall over. Yes, I shit you not. A device that creates a little storm cloud above your enemies and makes them wet. What? What the fuck? This is beyond lazy writing. Kevin, you had one job that you shared with the rest of the team. What the hell? How can you fuck this up? You had both alternatives and you choose to go with the shitty one instead? Why? It just blows my mind. Were they afraid that the kids wouldn't be able to handle this?
Oh dear.
Let's just assume for a moment that the writers and the director for this movie, Kevin Munroe, gave the slightest shit about the story. Better yet, let's just assume the writer wrote themselves into a corner here, okay? Clank is trapped and is about to get crushed by his arch nemesis, Victor. What do? Oh, I know, said one of the writers. Let's just use the first draft that TJ Fixman already wrote because it makes somewhat sense. You what? Let's give Clank a magic weapon that makes a cloud appear over Victor's head. But that doesn't make any sense. But it's funny. No, it's not. You're fired! Where's my fucking cocaine? Ratchet manages to get to the core of the deplanetizer and is now working on deactivating it, as Drax shows up and captures the Lombax.
Ah, a rare species and an arch nemesis as well. Let's kill him and sell his body. He'll fetch a pretty penny in the black market.
What an interesting and complex straight-out villain would say, but instead...
We should make t-shirts!
His fate will surely be sealed from this point on. And suddenly, Ratchet realizes Quark is working for the enemy. He seems all bummed out about it, but is more like, I'm sad, I guess, or whatever. Ratchet gets shoved into a broken escape pod and gets shot into space, where he witnesses firsthand how Novalis gets destroyed, as everyone is in shock about this massive disaster that leaves countless of aliens homeless. Cut to Ratchet sweeping the floor in Grimm's garage as Clank approaches him, convincing him to rejoin the Rangers as they need him now more than ever. Whoa, 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 whoa! What just happened? What the fuck just happened? No, seriously, that is not a rhetorical question. I'm genuinely asking what happened. Okay, let's analyze this scene. Ratchet gets shot into space. Planet Novalis gets destroyed. Ratchet sweeps the floor. Am I having a stroke, or did I just leave 5 minutes out? This very particular scene is the very reason I've done these videos. Maybe the game explains more what happened in between the scenes. Surely we'll reveal how Ratchet managed to escape his death in space.
Then what happened? In the Hollow film, Ratchet ended up drifting in deep space for like weeks until he finally managed to assemble a gravity drive using an old ham radio and a banana.
Never happened. In reality, he just went home.
In the wake of Novalis' destruction and Captain Quark's shocking betrayal, Galactic President Phyronix has issued a galaxy-wide alert to all Solana citizens.
Oh, fuck you, movie! Fuck you hard. This is unacceptable. Hey, remember when I said the issue that I have with the storytelling in the most recent game is that some parts make little to no sense. Things feel rushed and not very clearly delivered. There's so many holes in the story that you can't place it together at all. With the new game, I feel like I lost 2/3 of the story. I pray and hope, for the sake of the franchise, that it will make more sense after I've seen the movie. Yeah, that. Exactly fucking that! Please, if someone knows what happened to Ratchet, let me know in the comments. I read the novels, I even read the kitty thing. Nothing! I played the game, I watched the movie twice! And I still have no idea what happened or why! And as soon as you question Drax's motives as to why he did it, this whole thing just falls apart. Yes, Blarks aren't meant to be the brightest in a galaxy, and Drax might be a complete moron, but letting Ratchet go like that? A ranger! That's either borderline unpredictably psychotic or just plain retarded, which Drax is clearly not. This is so out of character and it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. This is a fucking disgrace. Why bother making a movie if you're not gonna tell us what the fuck is going on? I'm surprised that not a single review has mentioned this massive plot hole. I could shove a Blargian snuggle beast through it. That's how big it is! Why should I bother to finish this review with this mess? I had a hunch this was a bad idea from the get-go, but this... I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. Guys, humans, am I missing something? Please, I can't be the only one. There must be something I am missing. I'm either too stupid? I don't know. Fuck it. GG. Throw him out into space. You know what? I have a theory about what happened here. Keep in mind that this is me speculating 100%. I have no knowledge as to what happened behind the curtains during the writing of the script. All I know is that TJ Fixman was responsible for the game, and according to him, he wrote the first draft of the movie. I think the event happened as follows. As the laser hits Novalis, everyone pauses in shock as they witness the planet's destruction firsthand. Ratchet's capsule drifts off into space. The oxygen levels are down to 0. Ratchet bangs his fist against the dashboard as every call for help seems pointless at this stage. Alaris manages to locate the Lombax using a scanner. With haste, the Rangers catch up on the drifting capsule in space. Brax and Cora eject themselves into space to reach the capsule, only to see the Lombax struggling for oxygen as finally... Yellow.
Todd, my man. My TJ Fixman.
Hey Kev, what's up?
Nothing. I was just checking in on how the scripts were going.
Oh, good. Actually, I finished a game draft last week and I'm almost done.
That's great. Hey, listen, I've spoken to Ted and we both came to the agreement that I'm gonna be taking over the writing of the movie, so, you know, if you could finish the script by tonight and send it over, that'll be great.
Wait, Ted said that?
That can't be right.
What else did Ted say?
Let's see, he said, he said hi, and you're fired.
What? It's 8 p.m. and the deadline is in 2 months.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy. So, is 10 p.m. okay?
Hey, listen,
Yeah, cool. So, 10 p.m. it is. I came up with a funny-ass punchline while taking a shit. People will love it. What's this bullshit paperwork on my desk? I have a clause in my contract so I wouldn't have to deal with this. Hey, somebody get me my agent on the phone right now!
And Ratchet manages to save himself using a banana and a hand radio.
Fuck you, Kevin.
I don't know about you, but when a writer distances himself over Twitter from his own work, then that's never a good sign. I would like to emphasize at this point that this is just pure speculation on my part. It's just things that had me concerned for a very long time. I didn't say anything because I felt like it wasn't fair to judge based on assumptions. Sadly, those assumptions and worries had all got reflected in the final movie. Alright, let's just... Novalis gets blown up, the movie reaches its final third take-back as we move on to the final build-up. Clank shows up at Grimm's garage convincing Ratchet not to give up. Ratchet goes, no. Clank goes, but the Rangers need you. Ratchet goes, okay. In the game, Ratchet asks Clank to help him getting back into his Ranger armor, and they're on their way to the next planet. In the movie version, Clank says something along the lines of, I've brought some friends with me. And the rest of the Rangers kinda land right in front of the garage, helping Clank convincing Ratchet to come back. The movie takes a better approach here since it gives the characters a reason to talk. They have a conversation to resolve this minor personal issue called devastation. While conveniently mentioned that it was Dr. Nefarious's plan all along and he's only using drag to destroy the entire galaxy. Aren't these writers amazing? It saves us from future conversations and character development. You know, remember in Tools of Destruction when Ratchet discovered information about the Dimensionator? How it was invented by Lombaxes. It was the first time in 10 years that Insomniac revealed to us something relevant about Ratchet's race. It gave us an idea on how crazy and inventive they were. An ancient race. Poof. Disappeared from existence.
No, wait! Where did the Lombaxes go? Why did they leave me behind?
Thank you for visiting Iris. Please do not forget to validate.
That was a very strong and emotional build-up halfway through the game. We see Ratchet react to something he was looking for answers all his life. Sure, Ratchet didn't get all the answers he was hoping for in this cutscene, but it was something. Remember that time how he suddenly meets another Lombax? The mysterious old Lombax revealed to us that he's Alistair Asimov, royal god of the Lombax Patrol. Again, a very emotional build-up that leads into a fucking heartbreaking ending? No, not only that, but we also get...
Now I've got you. It can't be. You're Caden's son. Forgive me, General Alistair Asimov. And you, my dear boy, look just like your father.
Yes, Alistair was not only a Lombax, but he was also a very close friend to Caden, which was Ratchet's father. This build-up took 9 years in the fucking making. And then we get this bullshit.
We should make t-shirts!
Never mind, shooting out of space. Back on the deplanetizer, Quark walks up to Drac to confront him about all this, since he's been promised that the other Rangers wouldn't get hurt. Surprised by the second time, Quark realizes that Nefarious is behind all this.
What was your price for selling out your friends? Your face on another cereal box, perhaps? Why don't you run along?
He gets sent out and Nefarious doesn't lose any time to turn Drac into a sheep.
Sheepinator. One of my personal favorites.
You know what? I'm okay with that. Moving on. I watched this movie in Wales and I could swear that the 3 people that were with me in the cinemas were grinding their teeth at this point. Anyway, he turns Drac into a sheep, shoves him into an escape pod, and shoots him down at his own planet. Seriously, what is wrong with this movie and escape pods? They've been used for pretty much everything but what they were supposed to be used for. Back to the Rangers, Ilaris tries to speak up as everyone just goes, yay, let's shoot things. And then she's being all woman about it and just goes, whatever, you know. And Ratchet goes like, whoa, no, what were you saying? It's okay, just speak. And it's like, no, it's fine. It's like, fucking speak! She explains her plan about giving Ratchet an invention called the Hollow Guys, which lets him take the visual appearance of someone else. In this case, Captain Quark. There is a little montage of him sneaking into the facility, Clank hacking himself into whatever to deactivate the shields. This causes mayhem as the Blarks instantly turn to panic. Ratchet finally manages to reach the core of the deplanetizer and gets surprised by Captain Quark. Why is... Never mind. It gives the game its first boss fight, so that's good, I guess.
You're no better than Nefarious.
Dare you? I am way better looking than Nefarious.
I'm taking you in.
And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the fighting scene is pretty decent and interesting to watch, as you can see them using the crazy weapons against each other. Fuck, I need to find something to nitpick on in this scene to make me feel better about myself. Some of the weapons they use in the movie never made it into the final game. Ha! That's better. Quark uses a... not sure what it is. I believe it was a much more impressive version of the vortex grenade to suck Ratchet in. Ratchet holds on as he pleads to Quark to come to his senses and make him realize that he's become the enemy. Ratchet loses his collectible Quark card that gets blown towards Quark instead of the vortex. And suddenly Quark realizes that many have been looking up to him, including Ratchet himself.
Quark, please! You're not a villain! You're not like Nefarious! If Umbris is destroyed, everyone will die! Is that how you want to be remembered?
He stops the vortex and feels ashamed and sorry about it. That's right, you just sit there and think about what you've done, you punk. They get interrupted by Nefarious, who does what he does best, which is being awesome. It is revealed to us during the conversation between him and Quark that he uses to work for him, and that Quark uses to make fun of him by calling him the king of the nerds or something like that, which eventually led to Nefarious snapping.
You know, maybe Drek was right. I am a mad scientist.
Oh, fuck. I just realized the movie actually went somewhere with this whole nerd thing. Good on you, movie. Good on you. Now, the movie and the game split from here on on. In the game, you chase Nefarious on the rail followed by the final boss fight using his jetpack.
Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Annihilating you!
In the movie, he sort of shoots around like a maniac. In both versions, the Rangers use a strong magnet to shift the course of the deplanetizer in the meantime, making Nefarious miss out on the chance to destroy the galaxy. Yay. As he's about to blast Quark into oblivion, but not without introducing to him his newest invention, the Rhino, short for Ripping You a New One. Ratchet has different ideas and arranges a meeting between his Omni-Wrench and Nefarious' face. Ratchet hammers Nefarious into the core of the deplanetizer where he kinda disintegrates.
Meet the Omni-Wrench.
Ratchet, Clank, and Quark get a message from Ilaris saying that the deplanetizer is out of control and it is about to crash into the planet. They try to come up with an idea on how to escape the deplanetizer in time and grab Drak's weird hover scooter. They dash through the holes only to stumble into a room where Quark gets thrown off it, where he seems done for as the glass beneath him is about to break and Ratchet is too far away to help him. Clank suddenly comes up with the idea of removing the teleporter and shoving it down the ledge onto Quark. They somehow manage to pull it off without dying and waking up on the Ranger's ship. They laugh, they eat, and Ratchet has a little emotional moment with Clank as he says that he's going back to Grim on Veldin because he has a promise to keep. Everyone in the galaxy is celebrating the Lombax and the Ranger for his heroic deeds. Captain Quark gets arrested and everyone wonders where Ratchet is. Really? They know where he's from, but they didn't bother to... Okay. Back on Veldin, Ratchet keeps working as a mechanic as Grim is being a real asshole about it. But hey, it's okay because we all know that he has the heart on the right.
We have 10 more proton scrubs to do before lunch if we want to stay on schedule.
Ah, fuck it. We know jack about Grim. As Ratchet keeps working, Clank suddenly shows up to find Ratchet, and at this point, I would consider it borderline stalking. Something about it being too boring without the Lombax, and he's back for more adventures. Then they all laugh, and they walk into the sunset. The end. In the game's ending, Ratchet shoves the teleporter off the edge and saves Quark. It jumps right back after the events where Quark is already in prison picking up Literal while talking to the other prisoner. Now, it does make sense since he's narrating the whole events throughout the game. Ratchet and Clank drop by to see how Quark's doing. While the three are being distracted talking, the prisoner suddenly makes a run for Ratchet's ship. I could swear Ratchet did this on purpose because he's so bored. He's like, hey, wanna come with us or what? And Quark goes, yeah, sure, why not? And the end. The game ending doesn't make much sense since I don't think Quark would be allowed to just go after another prisoner, but you know what? It is way more fulfilling than the movie's ending! Oh yeah, Nefarious has somehow survived, and whatever was left of him, the collector bots turned him into an actual robot.
It's not a robot!
But that's like after the movie's credits, which should have been a lot longer. And that was Ratchet and Clank, the movie, game, story. I don't even know what it is. What a shame. This could have been the one, you know? The one video game movie that didn't have to suck. But it did, because the wrong people were involved. And please keep in mind that this is my personal opinion. The game is an amazing experience, one of Sony's best-selling titles, and as a thank you, Sony didn't put any marketing effort into this movie whatsoever. Maybe they looked at it and knew that it wouldn't be good and chose to save the money. It angers me beyond measure how much Sony ignored one of the strongest selling titles for the PlayStation 4. I went to the cinema twice, not a single poster, no advertising whatsoever. When you enter the cinema, not a single indication that Ratchet and Clank the movie is a thing. There were a maximum of 4 people each time I went to go and see it. How can this be? How do you expect a movie to get any attention if there is no marketing effort put into it? What a colossal failure! And as for the movie itself, well, as much as I enjoyed it, I just have to ask myself, why? It's beyond pointless. You get less out of the story than you get from the game. What the fuck? Who is this movie made for, Insomniac Games? Fans of the series? You're telling me this movie is for fans of the series? If so, then I feel deeply insulted by the way you handled it around from writer to writer like a bag of stinking shit. I've seen all of it already in the game. Why didn't you leave it all together? Who is this movie made for, Insomniac Games? For newcomers to the series? Way to confuse them. They will be bored as fuck from the rushed mess. Was it meant to be targeted at younger audiences? You know, the ones that you didn't include in any advertisement or merchandise whatsoever? I mean, it would explain the cringe-worthy jokes at times, and the visuals are impressive enough to make a kid sit through it. The main issue this movie has is that it's rushed. Unbelievably rushed. Imagine all Harry Potter movies mixed into one single 90 minutes movie and some writing and jokes that are completely out of place. It doesn't make any sense. The only way I see this could have worked is if they stretched the movie from 90 to 150 minutes, minimum. If you're planning on introducing an entire world with its own rules and laws with 10 fucking characters, then fucking take your time to introduce them to me. How are you expect me to care for someone I don't know anything about? I don't care whatsoever about the new characters. Who are they? Why is Cora wearing a Crackmite headband? What are Brax's weaknesses? Does he have any life outside the Rangers? Who the fuck cares? I don't care. And here is the issue with it all. The whole story writing is sloppy and doesn't care about the character's development. The movie got delayed for more than a whole year. What have they been doing? Insomniac, you hit and miss on this. Big time. You failed to introduce the movie to the new audiences because the new audience didn't even fucking know that there was a movie coming out. People who went to see the movie had no clue what the fuck was going on because it is just rushed, one scene after another. The game added a lot more context and purpose to the characters. Right. Let's look at the characters for a moment. Ratchet was dull and boring as fuck. Due to the movie being so rushed, Ratchet has no real personality. He's just a nice guy or whatever, so his motives are kinda bland because there is no time to actually build onto it. Inexcusable. Literally the best thing about Ratchet is the fact that he's a Lombax. Yeah, okay, fine. And that he's voiced by James Arnold Taylor, which is fucking amazing. Clank. Okay, for me personally, he was the most interesting character in the whole thing. That's right, the robot had the most emotions in the movie. How truly ironic. David Kaye did an amazing job as Clank. I really love that they kept the original cast from the game. Grim, or also known as Grimroth, I think. Who is Grim? I guess he's the one who adopted Ratchet and raised him? I honestly don't know. I wish I could tell you more, but I simply don't know anything about Grim other than he's been played by John Goodman. Wow, okay, celebrity cameo. Alright. He does a pretty decent job as well. A real shame they didn't go anywhere with it. Captain Quark. Yeah, I feel like the movie was more about the narcissistic moron than about Ratchet and Clank like the title of the movie would suggest. Nonetheless, I need to give Jim Ward credit for the work he did on Quark. He was pretty good and got the character perfectly. It really made me believe that this is Quark. Well, it is. You know what I mean. Chairman Drag. Paul Giamatti wasn't the worst choice they could have made with Drag. I just found him very generic, not interesting. Like, not even annoying, just there. I personally prefer the original voice. It did have a lot more volume and bass to it, if that makes sense. Kinda more appropriate and intimidating for a bad guy.
Now, he's all yours, gentlemen. Try not to leave any marks.
We should make t-shirts!
Elaris. Who did her voice? Rosario Dawson? Never heard of her. She did an okay job, and she had more than 3 lines in the movie, so I kinda wanna know more about her. Hey Kevin, did you see how this whole character thing works? Hey, maybe you can take a note or two from my review before you continue destroying beloved franchises for a living. Brax. What is there to say about Brax? Brax is Brax. Okay, I stop now. I wish I could say more about him, but I genuinely don't know anything about him besides that he's a ranger. He was voiced by Vincent Tong. He did a pretty okay job, I think, judging from the 2 or 3 lines he had in the movie. Cora. Same with Brax. I have no idea who Cora is. She is a ranger, yeah. The only interesting thing about her is that she's wearing a seal of the Crackmite on her headband. She actually gets a few more lines in the game.
We must have missed them during our sweep of the perimeter. Brax, you better check the Hall of Heroes and make sure they didn't make it inside.
Oh my Zoni! Who the fuck are you and why do I suddenly care less about you than before you opened your mouth? I need to look this up. Bella Thorne? Who are you? No idea. I can't stand her. Her voice is like an ear getting like raped with like a sandpaper condom. Like seriously, she's like that Valley girl. Like how could someone like you play like a hardcore character? Like Cora, like, you know. Okay, I'm overreacting. I'm sorry, my bad. Bella, you're okay, geez. My personal opinion, she's like the worst possible choice for this character and I have no idea how she got cast for the role. Bella, I'm sorry. I'm sure you have a lot of talent, even if it doesn't show in your most recent film. Just please, stay away from the Ratchet franchise. Victor. Well, he's voiced by Sylvester Stallone. Nope. I'm sorry. Didn't really like him either. I don't know why. One would think that a cold-blooded killing machine would suit Stallone, but he was just... whatever. Like, you know... fucking shoot me already! And then there is Dr. Nefarious. Holy shit. Armin Shimerman. Easily my favorite in terms of voice acting. He nails the performance perfectly. He's loud, he's over the top, and he kicks ass. Hell, I wish this movie was more about Dr. Nefarious. What else can I say about this movie? The villains in this movie are one of the things that I enjoyed the most and that I think have been handled well. Yes, there are, however, some issues with like pop culture references that kinda get old very quickly, especially since they're mostly the same. I don't understand why the story bothered to clutter so many characters into it. They're just there to advance the plot, which isn't interesting on its own. Some jokes are very witty and actually funny, but then you get jokes that are just plain cringeworthy, awkward, and just feel out of place for the Ratchet and Clank Clank universe. There are some references from previous Insomniac games and other from Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog. The CGI was fantastic. Pretty much exactly like you would expect from a Pixar movie. Seriously though, why do we compare all CGI with Pixar movies nowadays? Can we just get away from that? How do I end this review now? I don't want to leave it all negative and disappointed. Insomniac, you earned my respect and trust when it comes to my favorite franchise. Please, Insomniac, stay with video games. Ratchet and Clank is a story about a Lombax and his robot pal. A very unlikely friendship that, in the beginning, didn't always seem to work.
So, blackmail is it? We'll go just long enough to pick up the O2 mask.
Perhaps the extra oxygen will help your brain to function properly.
Yeah, and maybe the salt water will rust your mouth shut. As soon as I find Quark, I'm selling you for scrap.
Clank!
Ratchet, how did you find me?
You kidding me? You think I'd leave my best pal out here alone?
Clank! Wake up!
Hello, Ratchet.
Hey, pal. How you doing?
You've worked so hard and developed countless titles which we all love and cherish for various reasons. You've got all these talented people working for you, working and expanding the universe that is Ratchet and Clank, a story that deserves to be told in form of a movie, which respects the franchise and the established characters, without turning them into something generic and unidentifiable. It is a shame because I would love to see more movies if it meant more Ratchet and Clank. Then hell yeah, I'll be the first one who says go for it. But the way it was handled here, I feel like I got less out of it. And this is the very problem that I have with the story delivery. I don't know what happened between TJ Fixman, who was responsible for writing the game, Kevin Munroe, and co-writer Gerry Swallow. Really? His name's Swallow? I was of the belief that he wrote the script for the movie as well, which I was very excited about at first. But, you know, it is never a good sign when a writer distances himself from his own work. No es bueno. I have no knowledge as to what happened behind the scenes, nor do I want to keep poking at it. All I know is that there were too many people involved in the writing of this movie. I'm gonna lean myself out the window here and speculate that this is what broke the movie's neck. Too many different visions, too little screen time. I'm sure Kevin Munroe is a very capable director with the right script, and he's also currently working on the Sly Cooper movie. Video games have a very bad reputation when it comes to movie adaptations, and it doesn't seem like this is gonna change anytime soon. The potential is there, and with the upcoming Warcraft movie on the horizon, I am looking forward to another attempt at it. I can't be mad at the movie because I was genuinely entertained by it. I wish others would have gotten the same enjoyment out of it without having the complete knowledge of the franchise. And with all this, one more question needs to be addressed to. The most important of all. Where is the franchise gonna go from here? Whatever you do, don't forget that the universe has a wonderful sense of humor. The trick is learning how to take a joke. Am I right, Insomniac?